What's up peeps, and in this video we'll be doing the review on the prospectus of Image Consulting Limited or Apex Radiology. Of course, we'll be looking at how it makes money, its closest competitor which is Elite Diagnostics Limited, and of course how it financial stacks up against it. If any of interests you, just stick around. Ensure you like, share, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, and yo, with that said, let's begin. Alright, so what is Apex Radiology? Apex Radiology is a private medical imaging company that offers a wide range of services including X-rays, ultrasound, CT scan, fluoroscopy, and nuclear medicine. The company is owned and operated by Image Consulting Plus and it was established in 1996. It is conveniently located near other healthcare providers and has professional trained staff that provide excellent services to referring doctors and patients. Company centers are interconnected and uses teleradiology and web-based appointment booking to allow for direct access to referring physicians. These features make Apex Radiology a leader in patient management and care. Basically what they're saying is that all the branches are connected. So if you actually want something specific, let's say you want a CT scan based on your location, or if the availability of that equipment at a particular location will dictate whether or not they will, suggest a particular place, yes or no. In addition to the fact that they're in the healthcare sector, they're in the center where if you do this and you're gonna need that closer to just do it somewhere that is like right at your foot than have to go somewhere. So say you go doctor and break or something and you need the scan, you can just maybe go upstairs or go downstairs and have to find somewhere else to do it. And that's basically why they say they're interconnected with like medical centers and in places. But so as for the offering they're offering up to 247 million new ordinary shares. And basically 183 million shares is being offered to the general public and 65 million shares are being reserved for reserved individuals. These are then broken down into 17,875,000 shares for employees. Key stakeholders have a reserve share pool of 42,125,000 new shares, and these key persons are like the referral doctors, the suppliers that the directors deem to be integral to the long-term success of the business, and consultant and professional advisors. And then broker reserve, so JMB reserve 5 million shares for the pension scheme and so on and so forth. And of course the shares are being offered to the public and everybody actually at $2 per share. And I know the perception with the whole $2 $1 thing when it comes to IPO, but we get example and see if it kind of help break down the concept even better. So let's say I have a cake that I'm selling for $10, the whole cake for $10, but my friends can't necessarily buy the whole cake that I'm selling. So what I decided to cut the cake into 10 slices and then sell each cake for $1. By the time I sell off everything, essentially I would have back the value of the whole cake, which is $10. So basically I sold each slice of cake for $1, and 1 times 10 is $10. But let's say I cut the cakes in 5 slices rather than 10. All I did was just sell each slice of cake for 2 times 5 is 10. So while the price might change, the value of cake that I sold did not change. And it's the same concept with IPOs. You don't necessarily have to sell it at $1 as long as the value is right. I'm going to go into valuation of it towards the end of the video, so you'll see what I'm talking about. And understand the perception as to why a person might feel like, oh, is $1 or oh, is $2 more expensive? Not really the case, but let's continue. So lead broker is JMB. The other agent that is selling is Barita. So yeah, I don't hear anything else so far. As relates to their products and services, they really have 5 main services that they offer right now, and that is X-ray, ultrasound, CT scan, nuclear medicine, and fluoroscopy. I don't think fluoroscopy. Alright, so I give you like a brief overview of what each of these do, and then after we can go to like the use of proceeds. So listen. Alright, so X-ray is a type of medical imaging that uses a controlled beam of radiation to create an image of the inside of the body. That beam is directed at the area being examined and passes through the body, creating a shadow on a film or a special plate. Different tissues absorb the radiation differently, with denser tissues appearing whiter on the images and softer tissues appearing darker. Multiple images may be taken from different angles to provide a more complete view. Ultrasound, also known as a sonograph, is a medical test that uses sound waves to create an image of the inside of the body. It does not use radiation and is often used viewing a developing fetus during pregnancy. A computed tomograph or CT or CAT scan, cartels and CT scan when it comes. Anyways, so CT scan is a medical test that uses X-rays to create detailed images of the inside of the body. It can be done on any part of the body. It's quick and painless and provides more detailed imaging than a regular X-ray. Apex Radiology 64 slices or multiple slice CT scanner allows for faster scans with higher resolution and the ability to create 3D views. You have now the nuclear medicine imaging involves the use of small amount of radioactive materials called radio tracers to create images of the inside of the body. The radio tracer is injected, inhaled or swallowed and gives off energies in the form of gamma rays, which are detected by a special camera and computer to create an image. Nuclear medicine imaging can provide unique information not available through other imaging processes and can help detect diseases in its early stage. Last but not least, the fluoroscopy is a medical imaging technology that uses a continuous X-ray beam to create a moving image of the inside of the body. It is often used with contrast dye to visualize the movement of body structures and is used to examine many body systems including the skeletal, digestive, urinary, cardiovascular, respiratory, and reproductive system. Fluoroscopy can be used to evaluate specific areas of body such as bone, muscles, joint, heart vessels, and the bowel. Yo, enough that a while ago. Yo, don't understand. Anyways, but we'll go to use of proceeds. Alright, so they want the funds to do three main stuff. The first of which is to acquire properties for the relocation of its largest operation in Kingston and to expand its offers. Meaning expanding maybe the amount of persons they can service. In addition to offering like other services, like I didn't see them put MRI scan, so there's that's a big margin thing as well. But yeah, the other thing they'll use it for is to procure new biomedical equipment to offer additional diagnostic modules at its Ocho location and to expand its offering of interventional procedures to capitalize on the fast-growing area of diagnostics. Alright, so like we'll go through what they want money for, we'll go through the products and services and the mystery, we're going to go through the dividends. And then after dividends, we'll go through the financials and the shareholders, we'll go through the financial, the structure, the comparison, and so on and so forth. So for the first 2 years, as it relates to dividend, the company will issue up to 55% of the net profits, subjected to the company's working capital and reserves, according to the industry. And then every 2 years there will be a revision of the dividend policy by the boards of the subcommittee. The aim is to pay dividends semi-annually, so that's twice per year. Alright, so for the last 5 years prior to this IPO, they didn't normally issue dividends on them something there. However, what has happened is that the directors normally get like some hefty fees and them something there, and bonus and whatever they want to call it. But they normally get some form of compensation. However, that's going to stop, and what they're going to do now is kind of limit what directors get to industry average compared to companies within the industry and within what they normally offer. However, in June 30, they did give out $30 million in dividends. So yeah, and it was paid in November. So that was like literally like maybe a few weeks before the IPO at this date. So yeah. So what we're going to know, just go to the financials, show you the structure, the financials, the comparison, and many more. Is me. So yeah. Alright, family. So a few things to go through. Of course, we have the directors to go through. We have a lot of stuff: structure, evaluation, comparison, etc., etc., etc. Can't really explain much in the video, but we'll just go through right now. So first thing I want to look on is that, well, if you notice, their income has like significantly increased, especially in it has significantly increased from even year before. They have been having, especially from 2021, they've been just having some explosive net income at the end of the day, some explosive. And to show you how well off they are is that their financial year ends February. The financial year ends February, and look here, so this is second quarter already, and if you're looking, their second quarter figure is already way beyond the full year for 2021. So if we continue that trajectory, then what going to happen afterwards. But let's continue to show you some. Alright, so let me show you some. So we're going to go to this right here. The specific thing I want you guys to notice. So right here, so as it's about our strong relationship with our payers and diversified payer mix. So our revenue is collected from a diverse mix of payers, including private and public referral, cash patient insurance companies, private debtors to whom we extend credit term, and government entity debtors, largely through the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Extended healthcare services, since 2019. And since 2019, and I'm gonna show you something. So since 2019, we're going like here, it pick up revenues growing and growing and growing, but significantly right here. So also, whenever you hear any company that like significantly have any form of association with government entities, can almost always guarantee that this company going to have a lot of receivables on their sheets, and I'm going to show you some. Alright, so we're going to go to the assets, and as you can see, you can almost spot it basically. So trade and other receivables, you see a gradual increase in 2019, pick up, then pick up, and then it basically doubles each year. And it's not like it's a bad thing, it just means that this government is just using them for more stuff, and because they've also been increasing their assets as well, so they have more equipment to service other companies that might need their services and so on and so forth. So that is why one of the reasons why you'll see it grow as well. But as it relates to the competitors, they really don't have much, especially in their system. So MRI, CT scan, ultra, so basically this is for elite diagnostics, and the MRI service Jamaica, they do all of them here. ATT, Radiology, which is also a government entity. So of the four right here, so is really one government owned stuff and the rest is private. Do note that they currently don't necessarily do MRI, but I think the user proceeds, if they never mention it, I think more than likely they're going to start venturing into this. Is also a very high margin business thing. So yeah, and then what you also notice is that based on their competitors, you can note they have a lot of other stuff that they can do to increase profits depending on what is what. So yeah. As relates to the DuPont, as always, it just get like a little story about what's been going on with the company. And as you can see, the leverage is the blue line, has been dipping, go up a little bit, and then it actually dipped now significant, well, very significant, but it dips, and that is good. We always want leverage to be lower for the most part. and profits to increase, which in this case everything else is. So if you notice, return on assets have been growing, which is the yellow, bright yellow, and then this darkish brownish color, which is return on equity, has been increasing. So shareholders making more money and the assets generating more, even if they're increasing their asset portfolio, their efficiency is better, as well as the fact that the profit margins have been ever so slightly increasing, but it maybe can't see that gradual increase from a chart perspective. So you can look at it. So from 2018 it's been 9.21% and it has increased all the way to 12.13. As it relates to return on assets, as I say, even though they're probably increasing assets, it's still more efficient as an overall basis compared to 2018. And then as a leverage, it was at 218%, now it's at 167. And return on equity overall what shareholders make compared to 2018, it has increased. Granted, there was a little dip, but it increased now for the 2022 year, and it should increase even higher based on the performance that they're doing right now, as I did state with the highlighted part. Right, so now for the structure, there is not much I can say about it really. They're giving about 20% of the company when fully subscribed, and before IPO you're going to have 900, almost a bill, 991 million outstanding shares, and then after it's going to be 1.23 bill. So yeah, and Nvidia did say, like, even before I was saying that, the directors were getting some serious penny. So these were the serious pennies that they were getting. So some 29, 30, and 36. Them pretty I don't know why then. Yeah, so basically they've been getting some 29, some 38, but I'm looking at a while ago. 29, 38%, 27%, 56%. These are just ridiculous fees. Percentage of adjusted profit before tax. So what I was explaining to you guys is that when you look at a sheet, what's going to happen is that as it relates to like a company's financial, normally dividends are paid out after tax. So dividends would end up be paid out somewhere down here. So after tax, dividend paid out like after tax somewhere around down here. So but what happened, like when they're doing directors, it'd be up here, so operating expenses are rated around here. So what happened is that they'll normally give directors some ridiculous amount of money, and then those would essentially go untaxed, meaning like government wouldn't can like tax them there. This just a part of like operating rated. So doing that now would be better for the company, but because they're going public now, certain practices have to stop because these are ridiculous figures being deducted. You see me? And then go so bam now. What they did say though, they eventually started paying dividends. So dividend is right here. So they ended up started paying dividend of 30 mil. But when you think about it, look at the figures from 2021 and 2022, it was crazy. So what happened, if you look at this, if the financial year ended at February, then the 66 mil was paid already to them, so the financial year closed. And then now what happened is they also paid 30 mil in dividends to directors. So then basically like 100 something mil within the course of the year, roughly. But seeing that they're paying semi-annually, I would say if they're using these metrics to gauge it, then if they're paying November, I think the next payment will be about April, May, June-ish there. So yeah, there is that. There's something we can look over. And now for like the relative valuation, Although before we go to relative valuation, we did not look at like the directors and the structures. I'm just highlight pages some kind of find whenever I was going back. So let me show you some. So basically these are the persons who would, the ownership and so on and so forth. And this would have been the 100%. But what happened is that because increasing the shares now, what's going to happen, they're going to still hold the same proportion weight, but because they're adding the extra 20% of shares to the company, what's going to happen is now 30% going to turn 24 and 16 going to turn 12 and so on and so forth and so forth. In addition to, the bank reserve shares, general public, and the employee and strategic partners. So when you add up all these, basically 1 point odd and that about 5 and so on, 5 and almost 1 and almost 15, yeah, supposed to get 20%. And then now for directors, because directors really, most of them are like doctors and radiologists, see the radiology, the directors and so on. The only thing is that they focus on the technological aspect of it, increasing customers' relationship, and also the fact that they're more efficient at knowing what to do in the industry. So while they are directors and chairman rated, what's going to happen, these persons as well, what's going to happen is that the manager, she don't necessarily, I don't think she necessarily have that background, but at the same time she's more about executing certain strategies and so on, ensuring that location they pick or so on is the best or the most efficient to maximize and foot traffic and just being in a medical facility area essentially just makes it better. So that's really it. Personally, I don't really know much of these persons, so can't really much on it. But yeah, so we could just go to the last part, which probably most persons look upon, and is the relative valuation. And of course, this is a service industry, and there's something I remembered when I was doing the valuation for the last IPO that came out, which was the Regency. Regency is actually a retailer, not necessarily a service, but we'll probably update that at a later date. But as it relates to this is a service-based industry. They're offering services, and the ratios, as I would say, because we're going to be comparing it to Elite, which is their most direct competitor. You can see their PE is 9.85 when I calculated it. For Elite Diagnostic, it's 20.44. Instead, I probably just get it maybe like a couple months before Elite. As it relates to book value per share, book value per share for Elite is 1.37 and Image is 36. But because book value per share, the fact that Elite only has 350 million shares and Image Plus basically will have 1.2 billion shares, it's not necessarily the same. What I really did was divide this by this. So divide Image Plus share count to Elite and then just multiply it back by the figure. So basically what you'd get now what would happen is that, assuming they would have the same amount of shares outstanding, then Elite book value per share would be like 39, and then this is 39 and this is 36, so in some ways a bit better. It relates to price to book. The price to book value is 2.32 for Elite, and this is 5.54. And then now trailing EPS, alright, so for Elite is 0.16 and this is 0.15. But of course, the same concept, but they want dry to because I really make sense. So the relative valuation for Elite would have been around like $5 based on this. However, $100 so just using the same figures, and then we're gonna have model thing, can't show it yet, but basically the industry average, are the same, basically the same figures. So industry average is, so the figures are skewed because the weighted average for each of these industries are added. So that one. But yeah, so the trailing EPS would be 0.15, book value is 0.4, and in fair value would be, as relates to PE, would be negative 1. What else is the weighted average for it? So about $2.92 would be the fair value price. They can probably expect it to be that. So, and yeah, that's really it. Easy me, I really don't want it too long. So and that's it, guys. And I would say don't try buying on the 28. You maybe need for probably try getting before that. Easy me. Yeah. But always ensure to like, share, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, and that's it. Love you guys as always.